Welcome back to Blacks in Motion. And like I said before the break, we're going to go ahead and finish my fantasy rankings for players in the categories of wide receiver and tight end. So talking about the guys who catch the pigskin, we're going to go with wide receivers. Number one, or at least no particular order, but Antonio Brown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This guy had an amazing season last year, and look for that to continue as he still has Big Ben Roethlisberger throwing to him. Now, even though Le'Veon Bell got to serve a few games in suspension, he's somebody that keeps that offense balanced and also gives Antonio Brown more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. Moving on to number two, we're going to go with Dez Bryant of my Dallas Cowboys. Look, the guy, you could have made an argument of him being the best wide receiver in the league last year. Look for him and that offense down in Big D to continue to put up big numbers. They still have that great offensive line, even though they don't know what they're going to do at running back per se. Look for him to still be a great red zone and end zone threat to put points on the board. And now we're going to go with Demaryius Thomas of the Denver Broncos. Like I said with Peyton Manning, he's still one of those great weapons down there. Demaryius Thomas is big, fast, can catch the ball, just got a big extension in his contract. Look for him to put up really good numbers. Now, my sleeper in the wide receiver department, a guy you may never heard of. His name is Charles Johnson. He's a wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, look, everybody's expecting Teddy Bridgewater to take the next step of his development at quarterback. Well, Charles Johnson's the number one receiver on that team. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, but you probably never heard of him because he's been on a few teams before, but he is poised to get a lot of that workload up there in Minnesota. So again, remember, sleeper, Minnesota Vikings, Charles Johnson. Now, moving on to tight ends, this category is a little bit deeper than it normally is, and that's a good thing. So the two obvious ones at the top are Rob Gronkowski with New England and Jimmy Graham of Seattle. Now, with Gronk, yeah, we see him in the news doing almost everything except football. But one thing he's going to do, regardless of Tom Brady, talk about him in just a second, is throwing him the ball or not. That guy's always a weapon. Look for him to dominate. Now, Jimmy Graham, no more black and gold. We're moving on to dark blue and neon green. He's up there in Seattle with Russell Wilson, another weapon, or should I say a passing weapon that they've always lacked, but always made it to the Super Bowl. So this should make that team better in that department because he's going to be a mismatch no matter where he's at on the field. Now, my third tight end is Greg Olsen from the Carolina Panthers. Look, this guy's already pretty good, had good chemistry with Cam Newton. Well, Kelvin Benjamin, starting wideout for the Carolina Panthers, just tore his ACL. So that, to me, only spells more receptions for Greg Olsen. And he has a good ability of stretching the field. He can actually run a little bit. So look for Greg Olsen to have another really good season at tight end for the Panthers. Now, my sleeper in this department, I'm going to go with Owen Daniels, another weapon for Peyton Manning. That's right, Owen Daniels is no longer with the Ravens. He's now with the Broncos, and you know what tight ends in the Broncos can do. If he understands the system, he's a veteran, he should mesh well with Peyton Manning, and look for him to score some points for your roster. So that rounds out all those four positions that I want to give you for my rankings, and try to get those guys in your draft as you're coming up on your fantasy league start. Now that we got all the fantasy out the way, I just want to mention one quick thing. We're going to actually take a poll. I also want to ask y'all a question. Do you think Tom Brady should serve any form of suspension for his role in Deflategate? There's a lot of speculation out there of what he did and what he didn't do and how responsible he was for that situation. Well, they're still in litigation right now waiting for a result to see if he's got to serve up to 4 games. If you want to ask me, I think he should serve something. Shouldn't be 4, maybe it should be 1, maybe it should be 2. But look, I don't care if you're the golden boy or not. If you get caught possibly cheating, you should suffer. But I want to hear from you. Answer that question for me. Do you think he should serve any suspension? So go ahead and let me know. Email me, cliff@blackvideonews.com. And before you leave this video, go ahead and click like and leave your response in the comments area. But until then, always stay logged on and love us right here at Blacks in Motion.